Okay. My name is Sergeant Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, Andraychak, A-N-D-R-A-Y-C-H-A-K, Public Information Officer for the San Francisco Police. This morning at about 10:30 a.m., San Francisco police officers responded to a report of a robbery and a carjacking on the 1800 block of 23rd Street in San Francisco. A white van belonging to the California State Lottery was stolen in this carjacking. The female lottery victim was assaulted and she sustained non-life-threatening injuries. Another vehicle was seen at the scene. It was described as a gold SUV, and we believe at this time that it was also involved in the robbery. Those two vehicles were seen caravanning or traveling together down streets in the Bayview district. Those vehicles then split up. One group of officers stopped the van near Ingalls and Gilman Street. The occupants of the, one group of officers stopped the gold SUV at Ingalls and Gilman Street, and those subjects in the van were detained, and they're part of an ongoing investigation. The suspect in the white lottery van continued into the Alice Griffith housing projects over my right shoulder, and that vehicle stopped at Griffith and Fitzgerald Street. The suspect exited the vehicle. An officer-involved shooting occurred. That suspect was transported by ambulance to San Francisco General Hospital, where he was pronounced deceased. This is an active and ongoing investigation. It's very early on in the stages, so we appreciate your patience and your cooperation. At this time, the body-worn cameras that the officers were wearing have been retrieved. They've been secured and they will be reviewed later for evidence. We're also canvassing the area both of the robbery and here at the termination point of the pursuit and the officer-involved shooting for potential video evidence. As with any officer-involved shooting, this matter is being investigated by the Police Department's Homicide Detail, separate investigation by the San Francisco District Attorney's Office, the Department of Police Accountability, the Internal Affairs Division of the San Francisco Police Department, as well as the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. If we have any additional updates later today, we will push those out to you. At this point, however, I do not anticipate any updates today. Again, this is still very early on in the investigation. And as per our policy, we will hold a town hall within 10 days of today's incident, and that information will be released sometime next week.
What was in the van?
I've not had an opportunity to see into the van. It's part of an active crime scene. The crime scene is being processed. And there were a lot of material in the back of the van. When I saw the van, the tailgate was open and it was loaded with different items. I have no idea what was inside the van.
What's the status of the victim?
The carjacking victim?
The person who was shot.
The person was taken to San Francisco General Hospital and pronounced deceased.
Was he armed?
It's part of the investigation. It's much too early at this time to comment on the evidence at the scene. Crime scene investigators are still going over the crime scene and photographing and collecting evidence. The officers that were involved have yet to be interviewed.
When did the San Francisco
3 to 4 occupants in the gold SUV. This is all preliminary investigation. That's what I have at this time.
Were any officers injured?
At this point, no officers have been injured.
Can you verify he sustained a gunshot wound to the head?
I cannot. All I know is that the suspect driver of the lottery van that was stolen was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced deceased.
What caused the gunshot through the San Francisco police officer vehicle? Was the suspect shooting at the officer?
So again, this is very early on in the investigation. I don't have that level of details. Most of you saw maybe from the helicopter video that a window was shattered on a police car. But again, we don't have those level of details at this time. That'll be forthcoming, probably more so at the town hall in within 10 days.
How many officers fired their weapons? Was one of them from here? Or was it
I don't have any information on the suspect at this time. Again, that's still part of the ongoing investigation. The medical examiner will have to confirm the identity of the deceased, and then we'll begin the investigation to determine who he was, what his criminal background was, who his associates are, if we can connect him to the vehicle that was also seen, the gold-colored SUV, that type of thing. At this point, we know that at least one round was fired from the police, and I can't go into any further details.
Sorry, did you say from the police or at
Correct, from the police. It was an officer-involved shooting, so we're confirming that information for you. Randy?
Yeah, can you talk about the moving parts of this investigation? We've seen a lot of different officer-involved shootings with your department in the past. It looks like there's different procedures that have taken place. You guys have met together. Can you talk a little bit about those moving parts with your 21st century policing and the transparency with the community that you want to have?
Well, we're as transparent as we can be, given that this is an active and ongoing investigation. Again, we're in very, very early stages. This just happened a few hours ago. The department is investigating. The homicide detail currently investigates. The district attorney's office conducts a separate criminal investigation into the shooting. The Internal Affairs Division will do an investigation into the department's policies and procedures to see if those were followed. And the Department of Police Accountability also conducts their own separate investigation into the circumstances and the shooting. And then, of course, the chief medical examiner will weigh in with their findings with respect to the deceased.
Does it look like the vehicle might have been used? And I know there's procedures that have changed since then. Does it look like this vehicle could have been used as a weapon coming at your officers? And we also seen the union representative on the scene too. Can you elaborate more?
So what I've seen in this officer-involved shooting, there's nothing different than what we've done in other officer-involved shootings. We've been moving towards transparency for a long time, having the district attorney's office investigate for a long time. Perhaps the only nuance in this would be that the robbery detail is investigating the carjacking robbery aspect that took place on 18th Street. I'm sorry, 1800 block of 23rd Street with the state lottery vehicle. And I can't go into any of the details about the incident itself. Again, it's very, very early on. We don't have that level of information. Body cameras need to be reviewed. Officers need to be investigated. Any witnesses need to be interviewed, that type of thing.
What can you tell us about the 4 individuals we saw handcuffed a block over?
Those individuals were occupants of an SUV that was described at the scene, that was seen traveling with the stolen lottery vehicle. Those 2 vehicles split up. So at this point, we believe they have some involvement in the robbery.
So those 4 were connected to the gold vehicle?
Those 4 that were detained were connected to an SUV. It's been described to me as either tan or gold, but so that's the status with
Can
that.
you verify if the mute button was used on the officer's body-worn cameras or not?
Joe, it's way too early in this investigation. The body cameras have been secured as evidence, but they won't be looked at for probably a day or 2 by investigators.
What's the situation? I mean, this whole lottery van thing. Were they picking up money? Were they picking up tickets? What was this van doing there?
Don't have that level of information. Again, this is very early on. We've been in contact with the California State Lottery officials. They are aware of the incident. They are sending a representative to look after their employee, and we will work with them when it comes time to deal with the van. It'll most likely be towed and held as evidence. So
Do you know how old the person was?
I don't.
Deceased?
Sorry, I don't have
And
any of
what
that
about the
information.
condition of the lottery? Can you describe her?
It's a female employee, and she has non-life-threatening injuries. And,
Take one more question.
Can you
Would you
verify
have the
any
age on her?
details about the officers who fired the shot? Number of years in the force?
much too early for us to have that information. That will come out at the town hall meeting. Thanks very much.